soul. Is anything worth more than your soul?
Come on.
And inviting them to discipleship.
Yeah.
Because not everyone who is who has salvation is a disciple. Amen.
Yes, sir.
If you were to ask, first of all, we want to let you know that in this text, this is falling off of the fact that Jesus began to teach his disciples how he would go into Jerusalem and suffer many things at the hand of the priests and the teachers and of the religious law, amen, and how he would be killed, but on the third day rise again. Now, Peter did something, who was one of his followers. He did something. He rebuked him for that. Yeah. But then Jesus turned around and rebuked Peter and said, "Get thee behind me, Satan." Because you're not savoring the things of God, but the things of the world. You're only thinking about yourself, in other words, is what he was saying, right? And so, but if any man deny himself, amen. If any man come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me, Jesus said. Now, if you were to ask millions of professing Christians, discipleship to Jesus is the process, watch this, of engaging in the practices that produce Christ-likeness. Amen. We want to look at the first thing is the invitation, watch this, to come and see. To come and see. To come and see. This is a call to investigate the claims of Christ. If any man, he says, come after me. The call to discipleship includes an invitation to be a learner, which is come and preparing, sit to prepare for the then not only invitation to come and follow.
Yeah.
We are to call to abandonment. In other words, there are some things that we need to abandon in our lives because and he couldn't bring the wife with him.
Right. Yeah.
Amen. Because let me tell you something. If I tell my wife somebody's giving a feast and she know, amen, it's going to be some good food there.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord. Amen. Right. She coming with me. Amen. Amen. And so it is to come and see. Watch this. Jesus called multiple individuals to follow him. In other words, he was asking them to abandon what you're doing and follow me. Yeah. Follow me, he told Peter, amen, and his fellow fishermen, and I will make you to become fishers of men. Right. Yeah. Right. Levi, known as Matthew, is seated at the seat of customs. He was a tax collector and to follow me. Most to come and die. Invitation to come and die. This is a call. Up his cross, right? You better look good on wood, right? Now note, because I want you, don't get it twisted. This is not saying that we are to die physically. Right.
Come on now.
It's saying that we ought to die spiritually. Amen. Die to ourselves. Right. And our own will. Right. Die to leaning to chapter 1 and 2, Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2, he says, brethren, I beseech you therefore, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies as holy and acceptable unto God. Watch this, which is your reasonable service. Now, you can't service God and be dead. Come on. Amen. Not here on earth. Amen. And so he called it a living sacrifice. Amen. Take up your cross, look good on wood, and serve God and follow him, right? And so verses 25 and 26 in our text says, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it. And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
Yeah.
right? And so when you think about Abraham and his son Isaac, Abraham, God gave him one son. And God told him, note, when he had that son, Abraham was an old man.
Right.
Come on.
And Sarah was an old woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And so she was barren. And he was half dead. So you had a dead body and a barren body who had a baby. Right? Because before the story, Sarah tried to help God out. Right? And so, but no, he gave him that one son. And when he gave him that son, he asked him, take him up and offer him as a sacrifice.
Right.
God was asking him to lay your Isaac down. Amen. Abraham laid down his Isaac. Amen. So we're asking you today to lay down, amen, your Isaac today, and remember that God is ready to assume full responsibility for the life wholly yielded to him.
Amen.
Come on, Pastor. Yes, sir.
Don't be confused. Don't get it twisted. God is saying if you lay down your life, if you deny yourself and give me full control,
Yes, sir.
I'm ready, willing, and most of all able to take